see the valency with respect to oxygen. See, actually it is different like this. Double the number of oxygen atoms that combine. Double the number of oxygen atoms that combine with one atom. With one atom of an element. With one atom of an element. Okay, is called its valency. See, for example, take the same third period. So what is happening? See, actually with respect to oxygen, generally along a period, with respect to oxygen, valency increases from 1 to 7. Continuously it increases. See, let us take example of third period over here also. Third period elements. How the valency of third period elements varies when they combine with oxygen. So sodium will form oxide of like this, sodium oxide. Magnesium has the formula MgO. Magnesium oxide has the formula MgO. Aluminium oxide Al2O3. Okay, silicon dioxide, sand. Okay, so it is called a sand. Next, phosphorus pentoxide, sulfur trioxide, Cl2O7, chlorine. This is called as Cl2O7, oxide of chlorine. So here chlorine will form a oxide of Cl2, formula Cl2O7. If you see the definition, according to the definition, what is the volume of sodium? So our definition says that double the number of oxygen atoms. So how many oxygen atoms are there here? How many oxygen atoms are there? Only one oxygen atom is there. So simply double it. So double the number of oxygen atoms. So now it has become 2. And double the number of oxygen atoms that combine with one atom of an element. So here for 2 atoms of sodium, so the double, this one is combining, that means 2 is combining. So for 2 atoms of sodium, how much it is combined? So with double the number of oxygens, so these two atoms of sodium are combining with 2, that means 2 sodium atoms will have the valency of 2. So for one atom, so for one sodium atom, so valency will be equal to 1 only, because we have to see for one atom of an element. So for 2 atoms, its valency is 2. So always we have to calculate valency for one atom of an element. So the double the number of oxygen atoms that combine with one atom of an element. So with one atom, for 2 atoms it is, after doubling this oxygen's number, so that number it is applicable for 2 sodium atoms now. But valency should be calculated only for single sodium atom. So for 2 sodium atoms, the valency is 2. So for 1 sodium atom, the valency will become 1. Now here, let us see. So double the number of oxygen atoms. How many oxygen atoms are there? Only 1. So double that number, 2. So with 2 oxygen, that means with the 2, how many magnesiums are combining? Only 1 atom. So that means for 1 atom we have to calculate. So for 1 atom it is 2. So after doubling the number, that number should combine only with 1 atom. We have to see that number should combine only with 1 atom. So here as it is combining with 2 atoms, so we have to see how for single atom it will be 1 only. But here only for single atom it is 2. Hence the magnesium, its valency is 2. Now if you calculate this, double the number of oxygens. So there are 3 oxygens. So after doubling you will get 6. And this number This valency is for 2 aluminiums. So for single aluminium, so the valency will be 3. For single aluminium, the valency will be 3. Are you following? Okay, for single aluminium, the valency will be 3. For single sodium atom, the valency is 1. For single magnesium, valency is 2. Because always for one atom of an element, we have to calculate. So if you see silicon, so how many oxygens are there? 2. Double that number first. So it will become 4. So for single silicon atom, it is 4. Hence the valency of silicon is 4. Always we have to see for one atom only we have to calculate. So for one atom of sodium, it will be 1 only, because for 2 atoms it is 2. For 2 atoms of aluminum it is 6. So for one atom it is 3. Okay, like this. For one atom of magnesium it is 2 only. So directly we can write. So here doubling the number of oxygens, so it becomes 10. So for 2 phosphorus the valence is 10. So for single phosphorus atom the valence is 5. In the same way sulfur 6. For single sulfur atom it is 6. For chlorine, so double the number, so it is 14. So for 2 chlorines it is 14. So for single chlorine atom the valence is 7. So in this way the valency of an element with respect to oxygen can be known. So generally what is happening here, if you take any period, the behavior will be like this only. So valency increases from 1 to 7. Look here. So initially third period element is sodium, and after sodium magnesium, aluminum, and so on. If you see the valencies of those elements, sodium's valency is 1, magnesium valency is 2, aluminum 3, so silicon 4, 5, 6, 7. So it is increasing from 1 to 7 continuously. That means valency with respect to oxygen, valency increases continuously from 1 to 7. But with respect to hydrogen, what is happening to the valency? With respect to hydrogen, the valency is increased from 1 to 4 with respect to hydrogen, and from then onwards the valency is decreased. So like this, the valency of elements can be known, right? Next, the valency of an element is not always constant. So we will learn about those things also. The valency of an element is not constant always. Valency of elements may not be constant, may not be constant always. That means there may be more than one valency. That means an element may exist more than one, may show more than one valency. That is, elements may show more than one valence. Example, iron, if you see, it can form 2 types of oxides, FeO, Fe2O3. It is called as ferrous oxide, it is called as ferric oxide. See, one oxygen atom, double it. So here iron is having valency 2. The same iron, it is having valency. See here, double it. So for 2 iron atoms it is 6. So for single iron atom it is 3. So here in this case, this iron, it is having valency 2 sometimes and valency 3 sometimes, depending upon the compounds. If it is ferrous compound, iron is having valency 2. If it is ferric compound, the valency of iron will be 3. So such valency is said to be variable valence. Variable valence. So that means iron is having a variable valence. So what are the variable valences of iron? So 2 and 3. Variable valences of iron are 2, 3 are the variable valences of iron. Variable valences of iron are 2, 3. Okay, such valences are said to be variable valences. That means exhibition of more than one valency by an element is known as variable valence. Okay, like this. Now let us look into another point. What will be the maximum valency? What will be the maximum valency? For example, take representative elements. In representative elements, the maximum valency is equal to valency electrons. The maximum valency is equal to the number of electrons present in the valence shell, or else simply we can call it as valency electrons. So first A group elements. Representative elements means, what are representative elements? Already we have seen S and P block. S and P block elements are said to be representative elements, except 8th A. They are said to be representative elements. So S block elements contain first A and second A. So first A valence is 1, second A valence is 2, third A its valence is 3, fourth A valence is 4. Okay, fifth A valence is 3 and 5. So its maximum is, the maximum valence of fourth A group is 5. The fourth A group elements shows 3 also, valency of 3 also. Like this fifth A group valency 3 also. 6th A group shows valence of 2 and 6. So they can show 2, 4 and 6 also. See, this is called an oxidation state or else valency. They differ by 2 numbers. 7th A group. So they show valency of 1, 3, 5, 7 also. So these elements, mainly these elements, they are showing more than one valence. Such valence is said to be variable valence. Okay. So highest valency. Right. Next, the highest valency is shown by highest valency shown is 8. So the maximum valency that elements can be exhibited is 8 only. So no element will show the valency more than 8. So highest known valency. Highest known valency is equal to 8. So where osmium tetroxide, in osmium tetroxide, so the valency of osmium is 8. In xenon tetroxide, the valency of xenon is 8. So like this. So in this case, so I mean these are some of the examples for the maximum valency of an element. Okay, then minimum valence. What will be the minimum valence? So maximum valency, maximum is 8, minimum is 0. What will be the minimum valency. Minimum is 0. Okay, this is about valency. Now let us learn about the oxidation state. Oxidation state. Next property is oxidation state. What is oxidation state? The apparent charge an atom possesses in a compound. The apparent charge of an atom. The apparent charge of an atom in a compound. An atom. Apparent charge of an atom in a compound. In a compound is generally called as oxidation state, or else oxidation state is also called as oxidation number. It is also called as oxidation number. Oxidation number. So for S block elements, what are S block elements? First A group, second A group. Okay, they are called as S block elements. First A means alkali metals, second A are called as alkali earth metals. So for these elements, oxidation state is equal to group number. So here oxidation state is equal to group number. So that means its oxidation state is +1, its oxidation state is +2. Generally metals show positive oxidation state. Generally metals show positive oxidation state. Okay, that means sometimes non-metals also, but non-metals also may show, but in general metal shows positive oxidation state. Sometimes some non-metals also show positive oxidation states. See, generally what do we say regarding oxidation state? Oxidation state may be positive, oxidation state may be positive, may be negative, may be 0, or else may be fractional also sometimes. So this, if you see S block elements, their oxidation state is equal to group number. Then P block elements. For P block elements, what are P block elements? That means from third A to 8th A generally. We'll call them as P block elements. See there for 8th A, so oxidation state is 0 always, because they cannot form compounds, 8th A elements. So generally for P block elements, that means from 3rd A to 7th A only we have to consider. Even 8th A is also P block element. 8th A group is also belong to P block, but oxidation state of 8th A is 0, because 8th A group elements generally they don't form compound generally. Okay, so that is why generally oxidation state of 8th A is 0, we generally mention. So here in these elements, for P block elements, oxidation state. See, the oxidation state may change by two numbers. Change by two numbers. May change by two numbers. Example we have seen already. We have seen, for example, thallium. If you take its oxidation state is 1 and 3, so they differ by 2. They change. Here they change by number 2. See, out of these two, so for thallium, so for third A, generally third A, their oxidation, general oxidation number or else oxidation state is 3. But thallium, it possesses 1 and 3 both. Thallium belong to third A. It possesses both 1 and 3. This is stable oxidation state, but this is less stable oxidation state. So thallium, it forms +1 and even +3. So which one is more stable? Thallium is forming +1 and +3, but which one is more stable? +3 is more stable. Sorry, +1 is more stable. Why +1 is more stable than +3? So this is due to inert pair effect. Okay. In the same way, if you take fourth A group, so we are speaking about P block elements. So third A to 7th A. So third A we have seen. Now let us see how the oxidation number in fourth A. Oxidation number in fourth A group. Their general oxidation state or else oxidation number is equal to 4. General oxidation state of general oxidation number is, here we will call it as +4. But the last element of fourth group is lead. Lead show +2 and +4 also. Even its above member tin also shows +2 and +4. So here this +2 state is more stable. So it is more stable state than +4, less stable. So Pb +2 is more stable than Pb +4. In the same way, Sn +2 is more stable than Sn +4. Stability order. So what is the reason for this one? Again, it is also inert pair effect. Due to inert pair effect, Pb +2 is more stable than Pb +4. What is inert pair? What is the meaning of inert? Non-reactive. Okay. So why it is so? Let us learn about inert pair effect. Inert pair effect. See, if you take an example, lead only, or else tin. What is its atomic number? Tin atomic number is 50. Atomic number of tin is 50. See, if you see the tin, its configuration is 1s, 2s 2p, 3s 3p, 4s, okay, 4s 3d, 4p, next 5s 4d, 5p. So let us see how many electrons are there. 6 here, 10, 18, 20, 30, 36, 38, 40, okay, 40, 40, see here, 4 is 4p, 5s, 4d, 5p, 46, one is 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p, 4p, 5s, 4d, 5p, 6s, 4f, 50 electrons, 1s2, 2s2, 3s2, 3s2, 3p6, here all together 20, 30, 30, 36, 38, 48, okay, sorry. So here it is 5p2, 5p2, 5p2. So what is the last orbit? What is the last orbit in tin? So altogether there should be 50 electrons. So 5s2, 5p2. So the last orbit is fifth orbit. It is having 5s2 and 5p2. So the last orbit is having 5s2 and 5p2. So 5s2 and 5p2, fifth, look here, first nucleus, first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, fourth orbit, fifth orbit. So in fifth orbit there are s electrons and p electrons also. This is 5s and this is 5p. So this is fifth orbit. This is first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, fourth orbit and fifth orbit. So in fifth orbit what is happening? The electrons, the 5s electrons are closely, they will penetrate closely towards the nucleus. So as they are attracted more towards the nucleus, what is happening? So this is the fifth orbit, 5s and 5p. So every orbit is having suborbits. Every orbit is having suborbits. So now fifth orbit is also having suborbits. What are the suborbits of fifth orbit? So 5s and 5p. See these 5s electrons, they are attracted more towards the nucleus than the 5p. So this is what is happened. So these electrons, this atom. So here 5s contains 2 electrons, 5p contains 2 electrons. 5s 2 electrons and 5p also 2 electrons. So now what happens? These 5p electrons are far away from the nucleus. So these 2 electrons that tin can lose